Hi folks, I hope you're all doing fine. For those of you who don't know who Kent Hovind is, he's currently serving a long prison sentence. He's been in prison for nearly 10 years for a crime that he hasn't committed. At least I believe he's innocent. I don't believe he's committed the crimes that he's been sentenced for. Although he's in prison and behind bars, he still has access to a computer for email purposes, and he manages to get emails out. Not very often, it's usually once a week. He hasn't updated for a month, but his website is secondpeter3.com. So if we click on secondpeter3.com, and if you go over to Kent's blog, on that section, you'll see each one of these links is an update that he's made. Usually he's only got a few minutes to write the message, and he'll be very, very quick about it, and it's just a one-sentence job, and there'll be spelling mistakes in there because he's got literally seconds to type this thing and get it on the internet. But if you scroll down the list, there's been a lot of updates. I followed them all from the beginning. You'll see this one that's called Complaint Heldmeyer. Click on that one, and it's a little bit longer than usual. It's about 3 pages, but we're not going to read 3 pages of this. I'm just going to show you just one little bit. Scroll down to point number 3 here. This is what Kent Hovind wrote from his prison cell. He said, starting in about 2003, Pensacola-based Assistant U.S. Attorney Michelle Heldmeyer led a team of attorneys and IRS agents targeting this conservative ministry. In other words, the IRS were targeting his ministry. They finally got an indictment against both my wife and I on July the 11th, 2006, on 3 totally bogus charges, as explained below, by using lies, deceit, and withholding exculpatory evidence. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, this last bit of the sentence. One of the American US attorneys on the team, J.D. Roy Atkinson, was arrested after my trial while going to Detroit to have sex with a 5-year-old. He hung himself in his jail cell on October the 5th, 2007. More about that below. So, the guy that convicted, the government lawyer that convicted Kent Hovind was a paedophile. So, to double check the information, we go over to there's a Wikipedia article here, but you can just very easily copy and paste the name of J.D. Roy Atkinson into a search engine, and then you'll find mainstream news articles. It's on the New York Times, posted an article, Fox News covered it, but it was covered in a sort of late night back end story fashion, and only once, and not many people are aware of it. But there's the guy. That's the lawyer who convicted Kent Hovind, and he was a paedophile, and he was arrested and put in jail himself, and found hanged in his cell. And this is the type of thing that we're dealing with. Obviously, Kent Hovind was put in jail because he's very, very good at telling the truth. He can provide, and often does, put complex information together in an easy to understand way, and because he was absolutely destroying the official narrative of evolution, and showing that creationism is true in a way that is completely undeniable, because he was so good at that, they put him in jail to shut him up. Thing is, he's due for release. Kent Hovind is due to be released in February 2015. but they're trying to put more charges on him now to keep him in jail. I mean, he's served nearly 10 years for a crime he hasn't committed, and they want to put him behind bars probably for the rest of his life, but it all depends on this December hearing. So over at WorldNet Daily, it seems to be the case that they're the only media outlet that have covered this story, and it needs to go viral. It needs to be everywhere. Everybody needs to know that if you're telling the truth, you're a target. If you're exceptionally good at telling the truth, then your fate is probably going to be like Kent Hovind's. You'll be arrested and put in prison for a crime that you haven't committed. They'll stitch you up on charges that you haven't done. And WorldNet Daily are now reporting that a federal court Monday in Pensacola, Florida, scheduled a trial to begin on December the 1st for Kent Hovind, founder of the Creation Science Evangelism and Dinosaur Adventureland. So they're trying to pile on more bogus charges after he spent 10 years in jail. They're trying to put more bogus charges on him. And they're trying to say that because he's protested his innocence, therefore he's bothering the system and filing frivolous lawsuits. From jail, Kent Hovind is protesting his innocence. If he had pleaded guilty, he would have served 3 years and he would have been out 7 years ago. But because he's protested his innocence, he's served 10 years in jail, and he has to file legal lawsuits to show his innocence. And what the system is doing, what the corrupted government system, which is not just specific to America, it's you'll find a corrupted global government system that acts in the same way. Whenever he files a lawsuit, they say that he's filing frivolous charges, and they're trying to get him banged up in prison for the rest of his life. So